Welcome to the Successful Home Inspector Podcast, where we discuss everything you need to know about home inspection from A to Z. Brought to you by Preston Sandlin and Home Inspection Carolina. We're here to share some success stories and some not so successful stories. Some things we can all learn from, and maybe, just maybe, we can help each other and raise the profession. So sit back, turn up the volume, and enjoy. Now, here's your host of the Successful Home Inspector Podcast, Preston Sandlin.
Hey, home inspectors out there, I'm here to bring you a strategy that will increase your business, and it's easy. Go to homeinspectionflyers.com, get you 5 flyers, put your logo, your information, your testimonials in there, send them off to the printing company. Within a week, you get a box full of flyers at your door, ready to go. You've got all your marketing materials for the month. Take out flyer number 1, that whole how many offices you serve. Hit those offices with those flyers and candy, and hope you have candy bowls in those offices. I'm telling you, you will increase your business. Pick out some flyers you can get into. Again, homeinspectionflyers.com. Here's the formula. homeinspectionflyers.com. Get the flyers, fix them up, send them off to get printed. They come to your door. You take them. You get candy. You go to the offices, and you will increase your business. Thanks for listening.
All right, listeners, I have a special treat for you tonight, or whenever you listen to this podcast. I have a really good friend of mine. I've known him for a long time, out of Emory, Texas, but I think he does the Emory, Dallas area. I'll let you tell more about that. But it's Ryan Hinch. How you doing tonight, Ryan?
Good, Preston. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Oh yeah, man, no problem. I've been wanting to interview you for a long time. Well, Ryan, tell us a little bit more about you in the area that you serve, and to tell us a little bit more about your company. We'd like to get to know you and your company and get to know you a little personally.
Well, Preston, I started this company back in 2008. I had been a operations manager for a residential concrete contractor for about 6 years, and of course the economy, the new home construction with that at that time. So got laid off from that company, and I had always wanted to start a home inspection company. I felt like it would be a good fit with my home building background, and my dad was a home builder when I was a child or when I was younger. So I always thought it would be a good fit. So I went ahead and took the leap and started the company back in 2008. In the beginning it was slow, ups and downs, hard learning curve. But I always, envisioned a company that would be a multi-inspector firm. Always envisioned a $1 million a year company, and kind of built it from the beginning with that in mind, with systems in place, and anything that I could write down and have a system that I could hand off to somebody when I could afford to hire somebody. I did that, so it definitely has helped my company grow in that respect. But it's grown now to a multi-inspector firm, and we're continuing to move forward. So
awesome. Well, speaking of handing it off, I know you're a dad, and I always see your pictures on Facebook. Is it three boys? Is that, or is it 4 boys? How many kids?
We have 4 boys now.
Oh man, you're a basketball team.
We do, yeah. We're training new inspectors every day with.
Hey, they're great for marketing and really low crawl spaces, right?
Exactly. Our 2-year-old is great at crawl spaces.
That's what I tell about my kids, but obviously we're just kidding. Well,
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about your boys, and how do you? This is off the script, but I struggle with this, and I know. You have twice as many kids as me. How do you keep it all in balance? That's always a struggle for me.
In the beginning, it was more of a struggle with the time constraints with starting a new business. With having children, a family, and my wife, it's always difficult to have time for them. Basically, what I've learned over the years is that I have to schedule my family as a part of my daily schedule. So, typically my schedule wake up at 4:00 in the morning.
Woo!
I wake up early, but that's usually my productive time of the day. I start my day off with Bible study and working on my faith and getting everything in the right perspective for the day. After that, I typically do a little stretching workout, and then I go in and have breakfast with my family, with my boys before they go to school. And then from that point they go to school. I usually try to be finished by about 4:00 in the afternoon when they get off the bus, and then we can have dinner and family time, sporting events, and football, basketball, baseball, all that good stuff. So, like I say, in the beginning it was difficult, but I've learned over the years to, they're part of my schedule, and they're something that's a high priority on the schedule. So, I've learned to make it work, and it's working pretty well.
Awesome. Hey, Jim, I know your dad played football and you played football. Any of you boys you think going to be football players?
Actually, my oldest son, James, played football his first year this year in 7th grade. Cool. He was the starting middle linebacker. He earned the job, so I was very proud of him. And
nice.
Great season for his first year. So,
in 7th grade, too? Because I'm assuming it was 7th and 8th grade, and he made it in 7th?
It's 7th grade has 2 teams, an A and a B team, and then 8th grade has 2 teams. So, he made the 7th grade A team and then made the starting linebacker position. So, like I say, I couldn't have been more proud of him. And, all along I told him that, football will be the hardest thing that you ever do in your life, but it'll be one of the most rewarding things because it teaches you discipline. It teaches you, if you work hard, you'll get what you deserve. So he saw that was what it was all about this year, and it was great. I got to go and see every game, and just couldn't be more proud of my sons.
Awesome. Hey, tell him to watch, if he wants to be a middle linebacker, watch this guy named Luke Kuechly that plays for the Panthers. That's who he wants to play like.
I tell you, he likes Mike Singletary. That's his idol.
Oh, yeah, man. He was a stud.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, let's see. You said you started 2008, so that's roughly 7-8 years. Tell us about some of the changes you've seen in that time.
As far as the business, or as far as the industry itself, or?
Yeah, the industry. Sorry.
For me, obviously, starting in 2008, it wasn't a thriving real estate market at that point, at least here.
Right.
So we, in the beginning, I struggled. I had to learn how to market. I've always been, a straightforward person, open and honest, and I learned that if I could go and just build personal relationships with the real estate agents, without asking for anything in return, try to help them first and build personal relationships, that was my best marketing approach. Just be real and build those personal relationships, and then at that point they would give us a shot to do an inspection. So that's always been our marketing philosophy, and still is today, really.
Good stuff. Good. And I totally agree with you. I'm going to combine these two questions, Ryan, because they kind of go together. First of all, how many inspectors do you have now? I know you're a multi-inspector firm. And what was it like to hire that first one? Because I know a lot of our listeners struggle with that.
I have 8 plus myself now.
Wow. That's awesome.
Grown in leaps and bounds. Obviously we've had gone through several, hiring, firing a few as gone along, but we've got a good team now. As far as hiring the first guy, it was difficult to, turn over the reins to another inspector. I was fortunate to be able to hire a guy that had been a termite contractor. I actually used subcontractors to do our termite inspections in the beginning of the business, and he worked for a termite company, and I see him every day, and just got to talking. He wasn't happy with his company. He wasn't happy with the way that their management conducted the business. They weren't ethical. He expressed the desire to become a home inspector, and I obviously wanted to, get into the termite side of the business too. So I hired him, and he was able to train me, in the termite, and I cross-trained him as a home inspector. Apprenticed him. It took about a year in Texas. It takes quite a while. And, turned him loose after a year. He's still with me. He's my lead inspector. He does 500 inspections a year still. So,
ooh, good gracious.
Yeah, first guy, he was a good one.
Oh,
and then, from there, just started hiring more and more guys. I got better at hiring. I got better at interviewing. Got better at training inspectors. Learn along the way. I modified my training process and systematized that, just like everything else. So it gets better and better with each inspector. I learn something with each inspector, so it's always a learning process.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, you mentioned in that answer early on that you've been through some, fired some, hired some, and I feel your pain, brother. I have been. And I was listening to an interview with Darren Hardy today, and he said that this is something I never thought of. He said the team that's going to win the Super Bowl, they've already won it before the season starts, and it's the person who feels the best team.
Right.
And that's true. I never really thought about that, and it takes a while because some wash out, some wind up being great, and there's some people in the interview are going to be great. There's some that I thought were going to be great that didn't, and then there's some that I thought, vice versa, I didn't think were going to be great, and it turned out to be. I actually had to let one go, Ryan, last week for something I never had to let go. Something they said on social media that just didn't. My company can't go along with that.
Right.
I've never done that. So tell all your guys, religion, politics, all that stuff, keep that off social media.
Right, especially off of a business page and even on a personal page now.
Yeah, well, this is something he did on personal, but I got emailed it, and I don't go for that. But anyway,
right.
Well, Ryan, do you have a success quote you'd be willing to share with us?
I'm sorry, I missed that question.
Changing gears there just a little bit. A success quote that you would like to share with the listeners, or a quote you like to live by.
Gosh, there's so many. I just finished a book called Winner's Dream by Bill McDermott, and not necessarily one quote in there, but just the fact that he was started from nothing, and just with perseverance, he built several businesses and was able to be super successful CEO now, and it was just an inspirational book for me because I felt like I could relate to him. Basically starting with nothing when I started this business, coming from a layoff on a job that I was making good money and just having to start over, and just having that drive and that want to always continue moving forward with the business, even when things were difficult and when things would come up that I couldn't imagine being able to handle, and then now 8 years down the road, those things seem minor to the challenges that come up today. So
yeah, sure. What was the name of the book and the author again? Let me write that down.
It's called Winner's Dream by Bill McDermott.
Winner's Dream by Bill McDermott. I'm assuming you can get that on Amazon, probably.
Yeah, I got it on Amazon. I actually got it on a Success Club membership that I have with Darren Hardy. Got the information from him. He interviewed Bill a couple of months ago, and ordered it from Amazon at that point.
Oh, okay, cool. What out of curiosity, the Winner's Dream, what kind of business did the Bill McDermott, or he probably had multiple, what sort of business?
Originally started with a deli in New York City, and he's now a CEO in the technology type industry. So started from a $5,000 investment in a deli, and just grew and grew, and it was just a very inspirational book for me.
Cool. I love, being all of us who own home inspection, we're all entrepreneurs and self-employed. So, we have to, we're our own boss. So I love reading this sort of stuff because that doesn't get you because you can burn out and you read a book like that and it gets you back into your business. You know, have you had that same experience?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always reading one or two books and at a time, and you know, like you say, you go through ups and downs in a business. You know, through burnouts. I've struggled this year with health issues with my spine, and it's been a physical and mentally challenging this year. So I've, you know, had a lot of ups and downs this year, but I've done a lot of reading. You know, faith in God for me is top priority. I never lose faith in Him. So.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. You know, and another thing too, when I say I read books, actually I listen to them. We're always in the truck, audible.com. I don't know if you use that, but you get 2 books a month for like $20 or something, and man, I eat them up. I mean, it's like I go through them and I'm buying extra.
Yeah, I do the same thing, Preston. I've got a library of CDs in my truck, and I never listen to the radio. It's, you know, always something either learning or spiritual, uplifting CDs.
Absolutely.
So.
Windshield University.
That's for sure.
Especially when you got when you're going to, you know, you got an inspection that's a long way off. You know, you're like, I'm gonna, you know, good stuff. Well, Ryan.
Yeah, and for us, you know, being in small town East Texas, we have to travel quite a ways. You know, to get the inspection, so I have a lot of windshield time.
Yeah, you get a lot of continuing ed hours windshield time. Windshield University. Well, Ryan, let's say that I'm a buyer or real estate agent in your market. There are other home inspectors in your market. Why should I hire you? Is there something you do that others don't?
We have just a giant list of unique selling points, and it's grown throughout the years, you know, from the inspection report on site, emailed on site, to the, you know, the 90-day warranties and the other things that maybe are not so much unique selling points anymore, but, you know, just a laundry list. And we continue to add those. We've added thermal imaging this year, mold testing. Each year we continue to try to add and be one step ahead of our competition, you know, with those unique things that we provide.
Cool. Well, just curious, did you, where did you do your mold testing training or whatever? Who'd you go through with that? Because I'm looking at doing the same thing.
It's a little bit different in the state of Texas. You have to take a 3-day class in the state of Texas, and then you have to take a test, apply to the state, and then take a state test, and then from that point, you can be a certified mold assessor.
Okay, so it's state regulated in Texas?
It's state regulated. It's third party, you know, as far as the education, but it's state regulated.
Okay, so it isn't.
I'm currently going through that process right now.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm doing the same thing. I'm planning on doing the same thing. I avoided it forever, but I don't think we can anymore.
Right. Yeah, you know, some things that were unique 2 or 3 years ago are not so unique anymore, and everyone does them, so we have to, you know, stay ahead of the curve.
That's right.
You know, to continue growing our businesses.
Cool. Well, Ryan, I want to combine these 2 questions, too, because I know you got to get up at 4 in the morning, so I don't want to hold on. And I also know from the pre-interview, you inspected an 8,000 square foot house today, so you're probably pretty tired.
Yeah, it was a big one.
Nice. Tell us something most people don't know about you, and if you had spare time, because I doubt you have much with four kids and an 8-man inspection company. So tell us something people don't know about you. What would you do if you had spare time?
Gosh, something that they don't know about me. I actually like to listen to heavy metal music, and that comes from when I work out, and people don't imagine me listening to that. So that's probably something that most people don't know about me. And what was the second part of the question?
Well, normally it's what do you do in your spare time, but I imagine you're probably going to football, baseball games and everything.
Yeah, I mean, all family stuff. I love spending time with my family and sporting events, you know, and worship in church. We love to bass fish, and my oldest son and I have started to do quite a bit of bass fishing again this year. So that's always been my team spec from the time when I was, you know, a young child. My dad and I used to do that, and those are great times that I can always remember with my dad, and just one-on-one time. And I'm starting to be able to do that with my sons now, and it's really cool.
Awesome. All right, I'm gonna go back to you. I'm gonna hit you back on something else you said there, because I love to work out heavy metal too. Favorite heavy metal band, favorite heavy metal song?
Oh gosh, AC/DC. That's not really heavy; it's more old school. But I like them. Pantera.
Yeah, man. That's good.
Metallica, all the crazy heavy stuff that you wouldn't think a straight laced
guy
would like.
No, man. It's like working out. It's it gets the blood going. I would say.
Even like on my way to an office presentation, sometimes I'll throw that in just to get me pumped up.
Right.
I'm kind of an introvert, and I have to kind of step out of my box to be able to speak in front of a group of people. So sometimes I have to pull out the heavy metal.
Yeah, I played football, like you, and then I played flag football for years until I just couldn't do it anymore. I was in that league, where it was full blocking, all these guys that play college ball, so it was pretty intense. So I would throw in that heavy metal, and my favorite would be Ted Nugent's Stranglehold. I'd probably laugh at. And another one that I love is AC/DC Heat Seeker. You ever heard that one?
Uh-huh.
Awesome, man.
Yep.
That gets me pumped up. But anyway, I've digressed. Blowing up here. Ryan, you know as well as I do that if you do enough inspections, you're going to have an unhappy camper. How do you handle an unhappy camper? Do you have a process? What's that look like?
We've recently changed our process. Typically, in the past, our client coordinators would, we have a form, an unhappy camper form. They take all the information down and forward that to me, and then I would handle it personally. We've started using the system through Residential Warranty Services, basically where it's an online process now. Client issue is submitted via our website online. They answer a series of questions. And then from that point, an email goes to us and goes to the Residential Warranty Services group, and I can either respond to the client issue or allow them to. Typically, using the 90-day warranty and things like that, they can respond to it. But we've used that system for about 2 months now. It seems to be working pretty well. It's a good system as far as the documentation up front, with all the information being entered onto our website and documentation of everything that's happened there. So, it's probably the worst thing in our business and something that we all deal with. It doesn't matter how good our inspectors are, how well we train our inspectors. It's just something that we have to deal with.
Oh, yeah, you're going to get a few. You're definitely, it's just a numbers thing. And, I always tell people it's like, going to inspect a house is like finding a whole bunch of needles in a haystack.
Right.
And you'll find most of them, but there's always going to be a needle here or there But let me ask you something, Ryan. So with the residential warranty thing, they fill out something online. It goes to RWS and goes to you. Because the big thing with us is responding quickly. Do they respond right away, or do you respond first? Or I know that if time goes by, the person gets more angry. So, right. How do you answer first, or do they answer? Or are they pretty quick to answer? Or even if you just, I think, acknowledge them and say, hey, we're working on it. Let us call you back. That goes a long way, or something.
Before we started using them, we would respond within 24 hours, and we would send a template email that said to the effect that, we have your information, and we're reviewing the inspection report and gathering all the information, and one of our operations manager will respond to you within 24 hours. I would typically respond, that day if it wasn't too late in the day. But like I say, the quicker you respond, the better. And a lot of times, if they just want to speak to someone with authority, and a lot of times it can be a situation that maybe it was a misunderstanding as to what the inspection was or what it entailed or something like that, and it can be handled over the phone.
Right. And for all the listeners out there, call right away. Don't. It's not going to get better the longer you wait. And I know a lot of people, well, I want to wait till I can get my report. And I'm like, no, call them now and tell them you'll call them back when you get the report. But you've acknowledged their call, and, they can go get mad about something else now and not stay mad at you.
Right. Respond to them definitely right away, whether it be a phone call, which is probably best, or an email outlining what you're doing. At least they have a response and they know that someone is taking care of their issue.
Absolutely. Well, Ryan, it's been great so far. We're going to get into some highs and lows, but first, let's take a pause for our.
Hey, home inspectors out there, I'm going to tell you a creative, inexpensive way to increase your business massively. Go to homeinspectionflyers.com and get the flyers. You get 5 flyers a month. You customize them to yourself. They're turnkey, they're creative, and it's $29 a month for 5 flyers. That's less than $6 a flyer. And they are done by yours truly, Preston Sandlin, and I am a creative guy, especially when I don't take my medication. But I come up with some crazy stuff. It works for my business. I went from 1 inspector to 7 inspectors with this strategy alone. So again, for $29.95, you get 5 flyers. I do 1 per week. I send them off to get copied on the internet. I can get them for about 7 cents a piece, and I put them out in the boxes when I do my candy run. Works fantastic. homeinspectionflyers.com. Thanks.
All right. Well, I am here with Ryan Hinch of eInspect out of Emory, Texas, but I know he serves I guess you serve the greater Dallas area as well, or just one side of it, or all of Dallas as well, right?
Northeast Texas, we typically stay, the eastern portion of Dallas. We service, larger cities in East Texas, Tyler, Longview, cities like that, 100,000 population cities. We live in a city of 1,500 people, so it's, there's not quite enough home sales here to accommodate our business.
Sure. How far are you guys from Dallas? I mean, like city limits?
City limits were about an hour. The inspection that I did today was about an hour and a half from my house.
Okay. Well,
I'm sorry.
No, well, we're looking to possibly expand our business too. So, I hadn't quite figured out how it's going to work, but it's going to involve a lot of driving time. I know that.
Right. And until we got everything set up as far as marketing people in certain areas and inspectors that service certain areas, there was a lot of legwork on my part. But, now we have inspectors that are spread out all over our service area, and we have 2 marketing representatives that split the service area.
Cool. Well, Ryan, tell us about a time when you failed, in your business, and take us there. What'd you learn from it, or something that didn't quite go the way you wanted it to?
Gosh, there are so many failures, and they're more of, learning experiences. They're not really failures, I guess, but
right.
Oh gosh, I can give you an example of a success that was based off failures.
Sure.
For the past several years, we've as our business grew, we seemed to have more of a target on our back, and we've always needed legal representation. And I just kind of put it off because of the money and because of, just didn't feel like we had to have it. And finally pulled the trigger on that and got legal representation for all of our inspectors this year on retainer. And within 2 weeks after we got that, I had a lawsuit that came in for $152,000 for an inspection done 4 years ago.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
And without the legal representation, it could have turned into a really bad situation. But it was basically he handled it, and it was a non-issue. But learned from the past that we should have gotten that quicker. I guess in our business, I think we probably know how to react, but we don't sometimes react as quickly as we should and make moves as quickly as we should, and have the courage to make those moves as quickly as we should.
Sure. Is it when you said he, is that Joe Ferry? Is that the thing he's doing, or was it somebody local that you got?
We have Joe Ferry, and he's done a great job. We've actually had 2 cases in the past 3 months, and I've never had a lawsuit before, so it's interesting how.
Oh my gosh! When you get that was it a because I have. Was it a certified? Did it come in a certified letter?
Yes, they both came in certified letters, and
boy, I squinch every time I see a certified. Nothing good comes in a certified letter.
Right, either an attorney or the Internal Revenue Service.
Exactly. I'm like, I see him coming with that thing. He doesn't live here no more. He moved away.
Right. But you know, 4 or 5 years ago, if that would have happened, I would have just not known how to handle it. And at this point, it's alarming when you get that letter. But I know that we have people to handle that kind of situation now. So it's just, I guess, a part of growing as a business owner that those challenges that used to be overwhelming have become just more of a daily challenge, I guess you would say.
Absolutely. Well, Ryan, on the other end of the spectrum, tell us about have you had a moment where you felt like you've come a long way?
Actually, this year we're going to reach a goal that we've been trying to reach for a long time, and as the year was progressing, I had the numbers figured that we would need to attain each month to reach that goal, and after figuring the October numbers going into November, we're really close to making that goal. So it didn't seem obtainable before, and now I can see it's going to happen, and it's something that I never thought that would happen in an inspection business. So it's a good feeling.
Awesome. I know we talked in the pre-interview, and I'm the same. I'm like, I'm going to be cutting it close. I've got a goal, and I'm like, it's going to be so close. I'm just like, I'm hoping the rest of November and December are pretty good. It's going to be close. But congratulations on that. Well, Ryan, let's see. Well, other than Winter's Dream, do you have a book that you would recommend to our listeners?
Oh, there's so many. I'm in my office here looking at my bookshelf now. Darren Hardy, I know you mentioned him earlier, The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster. That's a good one that I read this year.
That's good.
All the Kiyosaki series, the Rich Dad Poor Dad series, those are all good. There's so many. Those are, the Darren Hardy stuff I just got into this year, and I really like what he's putting out there and what he has for business owners like us, and the encouragement and the help, and it's not always going to be up every day. There are going to be downs, so it's refreshing to read those type of things.
Oh, absolutely. And, he has a magazine, too, Success Magazine. And if you subscribe to it, they send a CD with every magazine, and it's people that it's him usually interviewing people. So that's awesome. I mean, it's a real, for somebody who owns their own business, home inspectors.
Right. I've had that magazine for about 6 months now, and it's really good. And like you talked earlier, it's the CD you can listen to in your truck and get the 3 top interviews from the magazine that month. It's really good stuff.
Yeah, it's great. Well, Ryan, we talked a little bit about some of the changes you've seen, and I know you don't have a crystal ball, but you have any idea of how home inspection will change in the future? Or any thoughts on it?
So many changes. I think it's people want their information. They want it right now. So I think that being able to produce the report right away, or at least that day, that's critical. And I know a lot of people do that now, but that seems to be one of the most critical and important things for our business, to get that report out quickly and get the information to the buyer and the buyer's agent quickly. We actually, like we talked in the pre-interview, we produce them on site, and we sit down with the buyer on site and walk them through the entire report. And, basically when they leave, they don't have any questions about the house, even, just about the systems of the house and how they operate. So we take a little bit more time in that aspect of the inspection, and it seems to help our business a lot.
Wow. Did you get that 8,000 square foot house done on site today?
I did, yes.
Wow, you're a stud, Ryan. You're a stud. It would take me hours to write something like that.
Well, I had an assistant with me, so he helped a lot. But, I got it done on site, and the buyer's agent came and went over the report with me, so it went well.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. When I was a one-man shop, boy, I was doing, 3 inspections a day, staying up till, I'm sure you had those days too, or staying up till midnight, 1 o'clock, writing reports, and, getting up and doing it again the next day. And not fun times back in the day.
No, definitely not. I think that's probably what has caused my back and spinal issues, all the 3 a days for so many years.
Oh, yeah, I did them, man. I did them. But now, thank goodness, got people working, that are younger, better looking, and got better knees. So
sure.
they do better than me.
Me
Ron, have you ever, I know the answer to this before I ask, have you ever been thrown under the bus by a contractor? I know I have. How do you handle it?
It seems like every day.
Yeah. Your inspector should have, da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, it's and I often wonder why they do that. It doesn't benefit a contractor to throw us under the bus. It's just easy to throw the first guy in under the bus.
Sure.
We've started educating our clients and our real estate agents that, hey, we're the first ones in, and there's no way that this plumber could be able to tell you that this water heater would have failed. He's just blowing smoke, where it's not supposed to go, and just trying to, sell his services to you. So it helps to educate people and to let them know that, hey, this is what we see as inspectors, and what these contractors are telling you. There's no way that they could tell that from what we see. So, it seems to help us a little bit.
Oh, I like it. I like your answer. Well, speaking of blowing smoke where it doesn't need to be, one thing that bothers me about the opportunistic contractors out there, the ones that use fear to sell the buyer, and some of the biggest culprits are the mold remediation specialists, and some of those, those, what is it, $49, $59 HVAC tune-ups, which is code for lead generation for a new system.
Right.
Do you ever have these guys come in after you've done the inspection and they scare the people thinking that they got mold or their HVAC's gone, and that, your home inspector missed it? Does that happen to you, and how do you handle that?
Yeah, again, that happens to us almost daily, and again, we just try to educate our clients from the beginning at the inspection that this is what we do. If you have contractors come in, if you start doing remodeling, they may tear something apart, see something that we can't see.
Right.
We can't predict how long something will last, be it a water heater or an air conditioning unit. We can only tell you what it's doing today and if it's installed correctly. So I guess just an education process. We're always probably going to have those people that will throw us under the bus just to make themselves look better and to get the work, and we just have to take the high road with them, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of times these guys are not licensed to do what they do. We're highly licensed, highly educated, and we have to let the client and the public know that.
I think, too, over the long haul, it comes out in the wash. The people who've been around for a long time, like you and certain contractors, are the honest ones. That dishonesty and that throwing people under the bus and being opportunistic, that's not a good long-term strategy.
Right.
And I think it eventually catches up with them. Well, Ryan, I might have to take this question out eventually because it's getting better. I wanted to ask your opinion on something. I'm bothered by what I see on home inspector forums sometimes, where, some guys get on there, somebody goes on there for help and somebody beats up on them or, just gets disrespectful with them. And there's no need for that. We all help each other. But I will say this, there's a lot of home inspector groups now on Facebook that I know Billy Barner has one, and Gary Smith, and they monitor it, I think. So they will kick people off if they get. But I don't know really what I'm asking here. Just kind of your opinion on that. You've seen some of the stuff on the forums that just kind of turn you off a little bit. that sort of thing?
I have, and in my opinion, for us to grow as businessmen and as home inspectors and home inspection business owners, we have to help other people. That's the only way we can grow. So these people that get on there and belittle new inspectors or, don't offer help, I don't agree with that. I think that we, as experienced home inspectors and business owners, we should do everything that we can to help the new guy, even if it's someone that's in our area. I would rather have, an inspector in our area doing inspections that's doing a great job, that's well-trained, that knows what he's doing, than have a guy that comes in and charges $100 for a home inspection and runs through and throws the inspection report out the window when he grabs his check. So,
sure.
I think it's, for our business, we all need to help each other.
That's right.
For our industry.
It raises the profession. It makes us look bad when you see that on there. I mean, real estate agents all see us as one. I mean, when you trash another inspector, you're also trashing the profession. So, I mean, keep it professional. Well, now I know you're a religious man, Ryan, and I'm glad at this question. I got to keep it G-rated here. And we're winding down. I only got 6 questions left. I appreciate your time.
Sure.
What is the wildest, craziest, or weirdest thing, just one of those, that you've ever found or one of your guys has found on a home inspection?
Oh, gosh, the craziest thing, in a crawl space, one of my guys in Dallas found a skull.
Oh, my God, human skull?
He thought it was like a monkey or a baboon. It was like a child-sized skull, and it had teeth or fangs. Oh, that's probably the craziest thing. He was scared to touch it. I asked him why he didn't bring it back. We would have cleaned it up and polished it and put it in a glass case in the office or something, but he didn't want to touch it.
I had Butch on here. I was interviewing him. He's one of my competitors. We're really good friends, Butch Upton. I asked him that question. He said he found a cat skeleton and still all there. And he came out, and there was an elderly lady there and said, "Ma'am, did you own a cat?" And she was like, "Yeah, he got, I don't know what happened. He went away or something." And he's like, "I didn't have the heart to tell her. I just didn't say it." I was like, "Good man." Well, Ryan, do you have a training or a resource, like an app or just something that you've come across that you think would help some of our listeners?
As far as inspection type training or business or?
Yeah, anything that just might be helpful that you've run across, a website or a training resource or even just an app that I know I've always. Oh, go ahead.
For our inspectors, a great training resource has always been the NACHI website with the continuing education that they provide, for free for their members, and even as far as national testing, where you can take a potential inspector and have him take that national test, and you can grade that. That gives you kind of an outlook of what they actually know, as to opposed to what they just say they know. So that's a good training resource for us, for the inspectors.
Absolutely. It's amazing how much information's on there too.
It really is, and it continues to get better and better each year.
Yeah, no kidding. I would say they should raise the rate, but I'm afraid that might get back to Nick, so don't say that.
Keep that quiet.
Yeah. What is the best part about your job and why? What's the worst part about your job and why?
I have to say the best part, and this goes back to my home building days, is the fulfillment you get when you're finished with the inspection and you present the report to a client, and you know that you've really helped them out. You've given them all the information that you can about the house. You've protected their family in with health and safety concerns that you may have found. There's a lot of fulfillment in that. Like I say, back when I used to build houses, that fulfillment was there when I would build a house and deliver it, and knowing that that's someone's dream and you were able to help them get that. So that's probably the most fulfilling thing for me. Also for me as a business owner, just being able to help other people, employees, to provide for them and for their families. It's a big responsibility, but it's also fulfilling for me to provide for the 17 people that work for us. So that's good for us too.
It's awesome. That's awesome. I know, and I feel like sometimes I'm like, gosh, man, all these people counting on me, man. I mean, it's an awesome.
Yeah, and that's a big responsibility too. When you at the beginning of the month, you have to make this amount of money just to make your payroll to provide for all these families. So it's it's a huge responsibility too.
Absolutely, and it's no problem like in April or May, but sometimes in January it's a little bit close.
Right. In December when your kids want Christmas presents and you have to payroll, that's a
little bit. I'd always tell them, you got to be like a squirrel, man. You got to put some away for. You got to make hay when the sun shines. Don't complain about doing those 3 a day because January comes. Well, last two questions here, Ryan. Is there anything you're working on right now that has you jacked up or excited?
Oh, lots of things. We're gearing up for next year for our next goal. So, I've just got a whole desk full of different things that I'm working on as far as adding new unique selling points. I've recently modified my inspector manual. I've got everything as far as the inspector hiring process modified and a step-by-step process where, I can turn here in my chair in my office and I've got, I want to hire 3 more inspectors, so I've got those manuals ready, I've got everything ready right here, so when I get the phone call, boom, I can go hire somebody.
Awesome.
That's kind of exciting knowing that, I know I need this many more to get this goal and getting prepared for that.
Awesome. Good stuff. Well, last question, Ryan. If you had to move to a brand new town or a brand new area, service area, equal to the size of where you are now, you still had all your guys, all your equipment, all your training, room and board taken care of. Everything is the same, except you just don't know anybody here, any realtors or anything. You have $5,000. What are you going to do in that first week with the $5,000? Basically, what are you going to get the biggest return on, marketing?
Face-to-face office presentations with real estate agents. I'd take all my people, and if we had no contacts, no inspections, I'd take everybody in the company, and everybody would be out marketing every day.
Have them listening to heavy metal on the way too.
Exactly, listening to heavy metal and just going and meeting people and doing presentations and building personal relationships. And that's actually, you asked earlier about the fun part of the business. That also is really fun and interesting for me, is meeting new people and building relationships. Even though I'm somewhat of an introvert, I enjoy doing that. So
awesome, great stuff. Well, listeners out there, if you got some gold nuggets from Ryan, and you did, let's go give him some likes on Facebook. What's your Facebook page? Is it eInspect? I think it's eInspect on Facebook.
Yes, eInspect on Facebook.
Cool. Well, we're going to get you a whole bunch of likes on there, Ryan, and for your time, and we really appreciate it. Is there any way they could, you could do email or just your website or something? You don't have to give your phone number or anything, but is there any way people could get in touch with you if they wanted to know more about you or ask you some questions?
Yeah, they can message me on Facebook. They can email me. My email is einspect1@gmail.com. Anyone that I can help, I'd be happy to help.
All right. Well, guys, if you got some value out of this, you see Ryan at a conference, walk up and talk to him. Maybe buy him lunch or buy him dinner. It would be worth. I've always heard that, sit down with somebody, buy them lunch. It'll be the best. I mean, the advice and stuff that you get is worth way more than the meal. So, good stuff. Well, Ryan, I'm going to let you go because I know you got to get up at 4 in the morning and you got kids to get to school and to practice and everything else. And I sure appreciate your time.
Thank you, Preston. I appreciate it very much.
All right, Ryan. Have a good one, brother.
Okay, take care.
All right, bye.
Thanks for checking out the Successful Home Inspector podcast. You can find show links at thesuccessfulhomeinspector.com. Check out the website for special offers, information, and other resources. Thanks again for listening to the Successful Home Inspector podcast. And remember to check back for new episodes. The Successful Home Inspector podcast is brought to you by Preston Sandlin and Home Inspection Carolina.